checking in once again. And we have the first episode. I'm here with, of course, the one and only Bitcoin Zay. So, this is the first episode of Tinfoil Toboggan. Shout out to everybody that's going to be tuning in. Shout out to everybody on the replay. And first thing I want to make sure you guys know is that you guys can actually go purchase Bitcoin in Black America. There should be a link if you're watching this on Restream, and there should be a link. I'll make sure the link is in the bio in YouTube as well. So make sure you guys go support Bitcoin Zay. Also, make sure you go to swanbitcoin.com/Bitcoin Chris. Get your $10 free Bitcoin. Go ahead and start DCA because you know when Bitcoin hits them crazy numbers, you're gonna wish you stacked some up. So with that being said, our last sponsor is Collapop. And what you can do is if you guys want that collagen, you want especially women, you know it's for men and women, but women, if you guys want that good hair, good nails, you want to, replenish that collagen protein that's going to help your hair, skin, and nails look a little bit better. Collapop is available online at collapop.com. That link is also in the Restream section down somewhere in there. And I also leave a link as well. And you guys use the code 25, get 25% off. They have free shipping. And with that being said, it's the very first episode of Tinfoil Toboggan. Bitcoin Zay, what are we going to be talking about?
Well, we're going to be talking about a few things today, but we're definitely going to get into a recent thread from Twitter where I described this secret society that I got contacted by, and discussing a little bit about how crazy it was, how crazy it was getting that letter on top of some of the things that go along with it. So we're going to be discussing that. We're going to get into Operation Berkshire. We're going to discuss some of the things we've seen with the Vatican. So a lot of good things to talk about today. We got our tinfoil toboggans on. Got mine on tight. Like I said, mine is attached now. I got tinfoil brain at this point. So you know how that goes.
Absolutely. What I want to do is, if you want to share your screen.
Yep. Let's see. Make sure I got this thread pulled up real quick. Let's see.
And if you want to go over the Bitcoin price as well before we jump in.
Oh yeah. Let me make sure I got everything pulled up here.
No problem.
All right. Oh yeah. So if you haven't seen today, Bitcoin sitting at $30,255, up almost 3% today. Ethereum sitting at $2,100, up 1.1% today. Binance Coin sitting at 342, up 1.1% today. XRP for some reason is at 52 cents, up 2.5%. Cardano at 44 cents, up 1.8%. Dogecoin sitting at 9 cents is up 4.2%. At number 9 is Polygon at $1.17, up 0.5%. And rounding out the top 10 is Solana at $24.95, up 1.92%. So the real one we would just need to focus on for most people is Bitcoin anyway. But those are the prices for today. And we're going to go take a look at this thread, just jumping straight in. If you don't know, I recently put up a conspiracy thread, as you can see here. Basically, a couple months ago, I received an invitation letter for a conference. The group name was called the Gridiron Secret Society, University of Georgia chapter. I was just as surprised to get this letter as anybody probably would be, which was crazy. But I did some digging because I've shown the actual physical letter to 3 people: my mom, my brother, and my homeboy in Charlotte. I showed it to them. That's pretty much the only people that have seen it. But basically, the Gridiron Society, when I showed it, they were all kind of, standoffish, like, hold up, this is a different this is a different type letter. And I was like, I don't know how I received it, but it's described as the highest honor for males at the University of Georgia and ranked as the number 3 secret society behind Skull and Bones and the Bohemian Club, which you can actually see on this link right here, Destination Luxury. And if you actually just Wikipedia, I mean, just simple looking it up, they do have a little bit of information about it, not a lot, but it's been called the highest honor, one of the top 10 clubs in the world. And if you look at some of these names, Jimmy Carter, Richard B. Russell, Sam Nunn, Kasim Reed, Atlanta mayor, I just found it interesting that this club was a secret society, and all these people came from the same club. And what stood out is that known members, including every governor and every U.S. senator from Georgia since the 1930s, since the goddamn 1930s,
Wow.
They all come from this one group. which again, if you look up Skull and Bones, you look up some of the Bohemian Society, you'll see these have been our presidents, they've been senators, they've been in UN, the IMF. They are representatives basically. So coincidence? I think not. I'm done with coincidences. But let's take a look at some of the members. Kasim Reed, like I said, former mayor of Atlanta. Kirby Smart, who just won the NCAA football championship with Georgia as a coach. Jimmy Carter, a lot of people remember him as former president. Brian Kemp, he's the current Georgia governor right now, of course, keeping in line with the tradition since the 1930s. And even Herschel Walker, who was Kemp's quote unquote opponent. And I really wanted to point that out because whenever you have two people from the same, secret society in a political race, doesn't matter if whoever wins, they win. So you don't really have a choice. They're still getting what they want. And I chose these people on purpose to show that race is not a deciding factor in their membership. That is low IQ thinking, people. Stop bringing race into everything. Some of this is about power, and it's not always about your feelings and how people view you and what race you are. That's not what this is about. Power is the reason for these decisions. And this is the actual letter right here, if you want to see it. Nothing too creepy. It wasn't, like nothing crazy, but it basically says the Gridiron Secret Society has elected 11 student neophytes, 22 honoraries to stand for initiation. And the initiation was April 15th, Saturday, which is when I put out this thread, which is why I waited till they did the initiation ceremony to put it out. I didn't want this thread to get popular and then they weren't able to do it and something happens, whatever. But yeah, this is the president, Brendan M. Cox. You can actually look him up. The secretary, Alexander Balzer. Jeffrey Lewis is the big bull, whatever that means. And the Honorable John J. Ellington, Grand Inquisitor, which we'll discuss him here in a second. And when you look at the letter, the new members, they were due April 15th. With a little typo, it said 2022. I'm guessing it meant 2023. But it was interesting that it was the 111th anniversary of the Titanic sinking. And the main opposition to the creation of the Federal Reserve System was on the Titanic. For those of you who don't know, that is a conspiracy fact that people may or may not realize. There's also been speculation that J.P. Morgan, he switched out the real Titanic with a ship called the Olympic, which was another ship that he owned. And because of the crash, he actually got the insurance paid out for that and saved the Titanic for himself. Please don't think that Celine Dion singing and shit, near, far, wherever you are. That's a beautiful song. I love it. White women that can sing. But that is not what the Titanic is about. You had Benjamin Guggenheim, you had Issa Strauss, you had Jacob Astor. They all opposed the Federal Reserve Bank creation in 1913. They all just happened to be on the ship when it sank. And it's significant because they needed the opposition to go, which if you know who created the Federal Reserve Bank and those bankers, they will get your ass out the paint in order for them to move forward. They all agreed upon the Federal Reserve at Jekyll Island. If you don't know about Jekyll Island, it is located in Georgia. The same place University of Georgia is located, which was interesting to me. And it's not only tax day, which I put there. Today is technically, tax day, but a celebration of the Fed system being created by secret society members. If you have not yet, please get the Creature from Jekyll Island. This is standard reading for anybody that's into conspiracy facts and actually looking at how the world works. And you know what else is in Georgia? I realized the Georgia Guidestones, which they were erected March 22nd, 1980. They included statements like maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature, which sort of sounds like the Great Reset of 2030 that they're planning right now. Why would you only want 500 million people and we got 8 billion? That means 7.5 billion of y'all got to go. And that's basically, that was on there for years up until July 6, 2022, when it was blown up. I don't know who gets TNT and blows up a big ass Georgia Guidestone site and no arrest, no prosecutions. Nobody is even talking about it. But somebody went and blew it up last year around this time, July 6th. And I just thought those two things were interesting because they both occurred in Georgia. And if you've ever seen the Georgia Guidestones, they have a list of things there. They have a whole bunch of Babylonian and other things on there. Let's see, they have it in different languages as well. This is a picture of it when it got blown to pieces. I mean, literally, somebody just went and blew it up. But look, Babylonian cuneiform, which is a style of writing, of ancient writing. A lot of people use. You got classical Greek, Sanskrit, and Egyptian hieroglyphics. All of these were all types of ancient writings for how the world was supposed to be. And it says, let these be guidestones to an age of reason. And if you know anything about the occult and all of that, the age of reason is basically what they're trying to enter into now, where there's no God, there's no religion. The state is your religion. We're one world. We're all globally connected and all that shit. We don't need, any higher power because we have all the power. You can sort of see that with AI and things coming and transhumanism, all of that stuff occurring at this very moment. But yeah, back to the actual letter. Remember this name, the Honorable John J. Ellington, Grand Inquisitor. He was elected to the Supreme Court of Georgia in 2018. That might explain why Herschel Walker, he actually got accused of domestic violence, I believe, 4 times. Literally, he is beating bitches left and right, and he skated free without any charges. Literally, still got to run. But as you can see, he's in the club. So if you're in the club, they'll figure out a way for you to get over it. So after doing some digging, I couldn't find out who started the Gridiron Secret Society. If anybody watching figures it out, comment on the post or comment afterwards. But I did find Abraham Baldwin. He was the first president of the University of Georgia, likely a member of Skull and Bones at Yale. He just so happened to be one of the U.S. founding fathers and signed the Constitution. And if you didn't know, all of our founding fathers are all a part of some sort of secret society. They're all Freemasons, pretty much. Look up George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, all of them. They all are Freemasons. If you didn't know that, this is not some, just some dudes who wanted freedom. No, this was concerted effort. But more on the letter. I have the entire list, which I will read today, of GSS inductees, the doctors, lawyers, businessmen, and politicians. In fact, I can probably predict who the next senators and governor of Georgia will be for the next few decades, because they keep coming from the same group. It's coming from this group, whether or not you believe it. So if you're in Georgia, you damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I just went on to say, when people talk about racism, protesting, and voting, I can't help but laugh, because you don't really have the power to do shit. If you're not a part of this club, you are not. You're not really shifting anything as you think. So please miss me with that politics talk. The illusion of power is what keeps you pacified, but secret societies run our country. JFK tried to tell you, Larry McDonald tried to tell you. Larry McDonald, who actually was a member of the U.S. House of Representatives from Georgia from 1975 to 1983. I put a link to an interview that basically they said ended his life because he gave away a lot of information. He was a chairman at John Birch Society. So who better to know about secret societies than somebody who was a chairman? Gave away a lot of information. And his plane just happened to be shot down by the Soviets. Like I said, they always blame Russia. Just like today, they always blame Russia. This is not new, people. Nothing's new under the sun. And I'll let George Carlin sum it up for you. It's a big club, people, and you ain't in it. And that is true indeed. And of course, led you to our show today. So that is basically the thread right there. And it's great to see how some people sort of reacted to it, saying, I thought about a lot of these things, but I didn't know if they were true. I didn't know if they were real. Oh, it's very real. They tried to keep their secrecy for a long time, but they sent a letter to the wrong nigga. I don't know how I got it. It could be completely. They could have sent me a completely fake letter just to see if I would say something about it. However, looking these people up, it seems to be real simply because these people are very influential in Georgia, and of course, this isn't the only secret society that is operating in America. So definitely want to put that out. And as promised, I do want to read out some of the names of some of the people that are honoraries, because I can guarantee you at least one of these people are probably going to end up being senator or one of the senators or a governor in the future, or run for the House, be a Supreme Court. I mean, it's just, that's what they do. If you're part of the club, you in there, baby. So let's see. A few of the honorees include Benjamin Hill Brown for business, Ashley Dinesh Chadha, the medical field, doctors, like I said, Cecil Roper Cook, business, Gerald Dallas Davidson, arts and sciences, the Honorable Demetrius Markell Douglas, public and international affairs, the Honorable David Blanton Dove, public and international affairs. I mean, come on, man. Jared Drew Eagles, agricultural and environmental sciences, Lawrence Franklin Edwards, education. I do find interesting there's a lot of education people on here too. They're in your schools, people. It's called Indoctrination Station. Fuck college. That's Indoctrination Station right there. Kent Douglas Fountain, agriculture and environmental sciences, because they are fucking with your food. Patrick Todd Frizzell, business. Brian Keith Gantz, education. Richard Raymond Hackett, business. Joel Andrew Howe, law. Edward Prather Hudson Sr., law. And Leland James Malco II, business. And let's see, a couple more here. Seth Connell McWhorter, environment and design. Michael Derek Patrick, business. Alexander Dixon Revel, law. Harlan McMillan Starr Jr., medical. Joel Benjamin Stern, business. Anthony Eugene Waller, law. And last but not least, Jeffrey Lewis Wright, business. And like I said, these names, they're out here now. People know who they are. This is a real secret society, people. It's based in Georgia. And of course, there's plenty of other ones as well. And we're going to do, plenty of shows about secret societies. But I just had to get that out there so y'all people understand how real it is. And in the face of things that have happened in the past, with the Bitcoin world and how things are progressing, I think it's important that people understand who you're actually dealing with. You're not dealing with these politicians you see on TV. Those are middlemen. They don't have shit to do with shit. They're just spokespeople that get elected by their friends, and it's one big club, and you ain't in it.
Man, get it off your chest, Zay. Get it off your chest. No, good, great breakdown there, man. There's a lot. That's a lot to break down there. So if you guys are tuned in, make sure you hit that like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe. If you're tuned in from the Gentleman of Crypto, my channel is Bitcoin Chris. If you're here on Bitcoin Chris's channel, my channel, make sure you go to Gentleman of Crypto. Make sure you like, share, subscribe as well. Man, you touched on a lot of different subjects. I think Greg Carlin is definitely a great comedian who spoke a lot of facts, even though he was joking around. The truth was hidden in those jokes, right?
Yeah.
So it's one big club. We're not in it. You touched on, the Georgia Stones getting demolished out of nowhere. No average person has that type of artillery in the first place, right?
Exactly.
So, and how nobody knows anything about it is already they can track you on your phone. They listen to us on our phone, right? We have a tracking device. They have the world's strongest microphones on these iPhones, right? They can hear every and any little thing. I don't know if you have an iPhone. When I'm on the phone with my friends, I can hear everything in the background. Yeah. So they can also hear everything in the background. They can also turn on your cameras at any time, front and back, and tune in and listen to what you're saying. So, you're absolutely right. You're right on point. Tinfoil Toboggan, episode 1, getting spicy already, man.
Let's get it.
Sending you letters in the mail. They want you to join, bro. They want you to switch sides, bro. Switch sides.
Like I said, I don't know how that letter ended up somehow in my mail, but I just know it was crazy because, after I talked to my spiritual advisor, and she was like, that wasn't on accident, or, it was supposed to, I guess I was supposed to be one of the people to help reveal that these things are real. These are not fake societies. This is not, I'm not trying to push down anybody's effort to get people out to vote or to be in politics, but you're fighting a losing battle, people. I'm sorry. If you dig deep enough into who's in your governments right now, almost 90%, I would say, they're part of some society, they're part of some club. They have people on their side, they network with them, which again, that's human nature. We form tribes, that's what we do. But when you tell the public that your vote counts, that's egregious, man. That's disingenuous. No, it doesn't. Yeah, especially in national elections. I mean, your vote is cast in one county, which is counted in one state, which is a part of the electoral college, which they still can change the vote for that state if they felt like it. So it's kind of disingenuous. Now,
let me ask you this then. So a lot of people believe, such as myself, that the elections are rigged. Do you believe that it was rigged in favor of Joe Biden on purpose, or do you think it was really he won the votes?
Joe Biden ain't got 80 million people to support him. I don't give a damn what happened. But when you look into how voting is, if you look up Dominion software, Dominion software.
Oh yeah, I remember. Oh yeah, jump into it.
People don't realize Dominion software. They were a guy was brought to the Supreme Court during the Bush. Remember when Bush got elected? Yep. And they were counting the votes, and he basically came and said that we have software that can change the voting however we want it. And that video, I got it somewhere saved on a hard drive, but that video got taken down immediately. Like, it was on YouTube for a little bit back in the day, but that video got taken down. And the same software company, Dominion, somehow is still running our elections. It ain't no way in hell Joe Biden got 80 million supporters. I think there was some nefarious stuff going on there. Can I prove it exactly? Not really, but if the software exists, somebody's using it for something. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't just exist in the ether and nobody's ever.
So that makes me wonder as well. If that's the case, and that's why I say I don't trust any politician. Like I said, I can agree with the stances as far as being morally correct, but as far as Joe Biden and Trump, so does that mean Trump won because they wanted Trump to win because he's really a plant, So that makes me wonder. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think Trump is really like the because everybody tries to make him seem like he's the golden child or the chosen one, which I mean,
Yeah.
you can say that if you want, you have your right to your own opinion, but
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather him in the office than Biden, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Do you think he's also someone that's planted in there, which I can agree with that, but do you also think that as well? Or do you think he's somebody that can challenge the system and that, he won because he won and, he's fighting the what's it called? The deep state?
Yeah, deep state. Well,
Deep
you
state?
know what's funny? I have two thoughts about this. All right, there's a human side of this, and there's a spiritual side. All right, so the human side of me, basically, is like Trump is far better than Biden. It's not even close as a president. Niggas was getting money. Taxes was going down. It was a lot of healthy spirit for the American fight, whatever. But the spiritual side of me is something that I've been reviewing for a while now. This guy, he wrote an interesting thread. He was basically saying that the plan of the people who actually run the world, they're going to crash the economy on purpose. And then in order for you to get your money, it's going to be in the form of CBDCs, airdrops like UBI, free money, all of this stuff. But somebody's going to appear out of the ashes, a phoenix rises. And that he was basically saying that Donald Trump may be the Antichrist that they speak about in the Bible. Because everybody is holding him up as a savior. He's God. They're saying that he's actually had a Jewish rabbi actually said he has direct lineage to David's blood, which is like it has to be happen for it to be the Antichrist. It's a guy called Donnie Darkend. If you look him up on Twitter, it's a great thread on it. A lot of interesting stuff in there. So what I think is going to happen is he's going to win the next election. He's going to save us from the terrible recession that we're about to go through with Biden. He's going to emerge as this leader. And even Octavia Butler, she has, Make America Great Again in 2024 from a book she wrote in 1993. You know what I mean? Like,
What? That's
that's
crazy.
what
I
I'm
didn't
saying.
even
That's a
know
lot
that.
of, that's what
I
I'm
didn't
saying.
even
It's a
know
lot
that.
of stuff. Yeah, and then Donnie Darkin, he also talks about like some of the what is it? The time traveling book that a guy wrote. It's a whole lot, but yeah, Donnie Darkin, look him up on Twitter. He has a great thread. So I think Trump, he's probably gonna come through and save the day. But for those who believe in maybe the Antichrist or the end times or whatnot, he's gonna show up as a savior and he's gonna fool a lot of people because he is gonna appear as a great leader. But that's exactly what the Antichrist is supposed to do: is to show up as a beacon of light, so to say, and then fool the masses into following him. Like, well, we got to follow him. That's why I'm kind of torn because my human side is like I would love anybody but Biden, but also the spiritual side is like, what if he really is the Antichrist? He's leading us towards whatever.
I don't think it'll be him. I think that's a great observation, but I don't
Yeah,
think it'll be him. I think it'll be somebody else.
yeah,
Because a lot of people at the same time can't stand Trump.
yeah,
And I was in that boat too. Before man, I used to watch CNN. You feel me? I used to be on that side. You feel me? I used to
yeah,
listen to whatever the news told me, right? And
yeah,
whatever they said, I rocked to it. And I thank God that I woke up and I got out of the matrix and I got out of the system,
yeah,
And I don't listen to the news, but I don't think it's gonna be him because of so many people that can't stand him.
yeah,
And like you said, it's gonna be a lot of people. Everybody's gonna surround and be for this person. So I think it's gonna be someone else. I don't know who it's gonna be, obviously, but everybody they depict Satan as an evil and ugly individual, and he's red and he has horns. Satan is not like that.
yeah.
He is actually a beautiful creature. If you guys read the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
he's made out of diamonds, he's made out of gold, he's made out of all these things, and he's actually a beautiful like creature. So these things, and that's what's going to attract us to him. He's going to be a beautiful person. So in my opinion, I don't think it's going to be Trump, but that makes
Yeah,
me also think about everything's planned out. Every 4 years it's a damn, or 4 to 8 years it's a damn Democrat. The system and the economy goes down every time, bro. And
yeah.
then right after that it's a Republican and the economy goes up every time. So
Mm-hmm.
it makes me like second guess all this stuff. I feel like it's theatrics. I feel like it's just pretty much a part of the plan. Two wings to the same bird, all to distract and keep everybody poor, keep everybody dumbed down. Like you said, the indoctrination in the school systems. People need to homeschool your children if you can. If not, make sure you
Mm-hmm.
tell your kids like, hey, what they teaching you in school, make sure you teach them better. It's no better than you.
Yeah, yeah. And I put the link to that that thread I was talking about on Twitter. it's pretty interesting because he goes through everything to where he was born, to the Scottish rights, his grandmother being from Scotland, and all of this. It's a whole deep thread. But somebody put thought the Antichrist was Obama. You know what's funny? In college, when Obama was elected, I wrote a thread. I wish I still had Facebook. I wrote, when you remember you used to have notes where you could write like notes. I wrote a note describing why I thought Obama was the Antichrist back in 2008. Like right after he was elected, all the black people going crazy. They selling plates and T-shirts, and everybody partying in the street. And you know, my opposite, my opposite ass. Every time the crowd goes one way, I go the complete opposite.
Absolutely.
I wrote a whole note about Obama being the Antichrist. And all this stuff. And boy, when I tell you all the black people that was on campus was like, man, fuck you trying to bring it down and do that, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, man, look, it's just a thought. It's just, a maybe. It could be him. It could be somebody else. Who cares? But a lot of the stuff did line up. Plus, the nigga came out of nowhere. Like, I was like, how did he just pop up? He did some community work in Chicago.
Exactly. How he just come out of nowhere and win?
And he was a senator for one term, and all of a sudden he's qualified to be president. When you look up who Obama's his birth father and his birth mother, and then her father, who he was, that kind of groomed him. It seemed like he was groomed for that spot. So it could be him. Could be him. Could be Trump. I think they're working together. Whoever's really running the show, as people know, it could be, Illuminati families, the Pacers, could be, the KM, Kazarian Mafia. Whoever it is that's running everything, they're playing us either way. The president ain't got shit to do with your daily life, man. Like, don't let that keep you from living your life. But,
it's a distraction, man. And so many people fall for it, man. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So many people fall for it. So, all right. So cool. Yeah. Now that we got that out, Bitcoin's pumping a little bit right now. I want to jump into my conspiracy options here that are conspiracy theories or conspiracy facts. We don't call them theories no more.
Yeah,
Everybody been calling conspiracy theories. It's facts. Like every time it gets proven, then everybody that all the sheep, you get proven wrong, and then you ain't got nothing to say. So you need to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. I mean, all conspiracies is just us being too early. Because when I was saying all this stuff in 2008, everybody thought I was crazy. Now, 15 years later, people are like, you know what? You was right. There was going to be a world currency. And I was like, yeah, they was talking about the Amero. Remember the Amero?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I remember that old YouTube, man, was the best. Like 2008 YouTube. But yeah.
All right. So if you guys haven't yet, make sure you go get Bitcoin Zay's book. I put the link right there. I put the little banner right there. $29 on Amazon, and you see the little graphics. Yeah, that shit fire. If you watch it on YouTube on your laptop, scan that QR code and get the book. Support Bitcoin Zay. Now, what I wanted to do was jump into this, right? The Vatican and the Catholics. And they really, in my opinion, they control everything. It's a conspiracy, right? That they don't, but they actually do. In my neighborhood, not in my neighborhood, but in my city, when I used to drive to the call center, because I had a call center partnership with my business partner who just recently passed away, rest in peace. Mm-hmm. Every day on the right-hand side of it's called Kirkman Road, right? There is a Mason Lodge, right? And if you go around the city, everybody's city has these Masonic lodges, right? So you think this is by accident, guys? You think this is like they just so happen to have a bunch of Masonic lounges all around the city for no reason? No, there's a club, and everything is controlled. Everything is, a part of being in these societies and part of being taking these rituals and being in these societies so you can gain power, guys. If you guys are not in the club, you're not going to be able to get to those politician seats. You're not going to be able to get elected. You're not going to be able to do any of that, just as Bitcoin said earlier. So here, the Vatican and the Pope, we hear about all these horror stories with the Pope and all these priests raping children. I don't hear no outrage about it. But as soon as Gandhi or whatever the dude is, the dude tell the kid, which is not, I'm not condoning that or anything. Of course, that's wrong. But as soon as he say suck on my tongue, and of course he's wrong for that. Y'all, all hell breaks loose for that. But we hear about Catholics, priests raping kids all the time, and nothing happens, right? So the shit is baffling to me. But as you can see here in Egypt, they have this big ass statue, right? In London, they have this big ass statue. Washington D.C., they got this big ass statue, and in the Vatican, they got this big ass statue. Can somebody explain this to me? You know what it is? It's really, like I said, symbolic. And it's really it's bigger than humanity, right? Like Bitcoin Zay was saying, it's about the spiritual things. Even Washington D.C., if you guys look up the sky, if you guys look at it from the sky view, isn't it like a pentagon or hexagon or Got the shape of it. A
Yeah.
pentagram, right? It's a
Yeah.
pentagram.
Pentagram.
So yeah, so these things are all, it's all satanic. It's all the Catholic Church. The Catholics kill Christians, guys. Like y'all don't even like study the history. Christmas is about, in the Bible it says don't even put no tree in your crib. Everybody put trees in the crib. You feel me? It's about Baal, Ball, Balenciaga, Baal. You feel me? Like they be doing shit mad slick, and y'all just eat it up. Y'all don't even take 2 seconds to look shit up. You feel me? But hey, you guys, you celebrate your Christmas. Do what you do. Celebrate your Easter. You feel me? Do what you do. It is what it is. But at least take some time and do your due diligence. So these are the things that we need to be looking into. Washington, D.C., London, Egypt, the Vatican all have these statues. And there's a reason, guys. It's not like that for any reason. It's a reason why this thing is happening. The second conspiracy theory I would like to jump into is called Operation Brookshire, right? So back in the 70s, right? Back in the 70s, right?
Well, hold up, Chris. Let's go through this first one real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Let me show something real quick for those of you who don't know. Because you're right. Technically speaking, our banking system, the banking centers of the world, they're London, New York, DC, and the Vatican. That's why you see those 4 statues there. And every single place those statues are there, because for that reason, those are technically the banking centers of the world, the capitals. Like New York is technically on paper the capital of the world. And let me see if I can pull this up really quick.
Yeah, pull it up.
Yeah. Oh, hold up. Did I just delete it? Hold up. Let's see if I just took it away. But yes. So technically speaking,
I don't see it.
hold up. Yeah. Give me 1 second. Let me find it here. Let's see. Okay, here we go. There we go. All right. So for those of you who don't know, and I wanted to read through all of them, but just for what you were saying, for those of you who don't know, America is a British colony. Still, the Revolutionary War was a farce. That didn't change anything. The United States is a corporation, not a landmass, and it existed before the Revolutionary War, and the British troops did not leave until 1796. This can be found in Respublica versus Swears, 1 Dallas 43, Treaty of Commerce 8 Stat 116, Society for Propagating the Gospel, New Haven 8 Week 464, Treaty of Peace 8 Stat 80, and IRS Publication 6209. Also, the Articles of Association, October 20th, 1774, which leads us to the next one. We're a British colony, and Britain is owned by the Vatican. This is from the Treaty of 1213. So for those of you who are talking about taxes, every time you pay taxes, that is a penance to the Pope. The Pope has the ability to change any law he wants in the United States. The Pope actually receives a portion of our taxes as a penance because the Pope is actually classified as the ruler of the world. People don't understand that. He was actually given that title after the Treaty of 1213, that he actually is the ruler of the world. We're a British colony, and the British are owned by the Vatican. So you're correct in that they basically run everything. They're also known as the Jesuits, the Jesuit order.
Exactly.
And for those of you who try to blame everything on other people, they're middlemen. We talk about the Rothschilds and Illuminati families and the Jews and the Council of 300 and all. They're middlemen. The Jesuits are the top because no matter what they do, they have to pay a penance to the Pope because according to him back then, and remember, this is the year 1213, people. This is almost 1,000 years ago when this was done. So it's not like you can change everything in one lifetime. This stuff was already in order before you got here. You can't even live 800 years to see it be from that all the way to here. It just is. So if you didn't know that, the United States is not a country; it is a corporation. And when you are born, the reason why your name is in all capital letters is because you are technically a business, and everything that you do, you are a subsidiary of the United States corporation, and everything you do is paid to them. And
that's right.
A portion of that is paid to the Vatican. And
that's right.
That's who runs the shit. In case you didn't know. So the next time somebody tries to tell you who runs shit, and this is who's messing it up, and these are the people that's garbage. That's baloney. It's the Jesuits. It's the Vatican. They get a piece of everything. That's why they're so rich. We don't even know how much money the Vatican has underground.
That's right. I remember actually now that we're talking about the Vatican. But yeah, before I touch on that, that's why when you go to court, guys, and you get in trouble, if you get in trouble, your name is in all caps.
Yeah.
It's the reason why it's in all caps. Like Bitcoin Zay just said, it's not like how you regularly spell your name. I think that would be considered a straw man, if I'm not mistaken. Correct your straw man name. So the Vatican. You guys remember? You guys remember when the Vatican got caught on fire, or something happened when
Yeah.
something caught on fire?
You burn the papers.
Everybody was sending millions and millions and millions of dollars to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why did y'all like? I understand you guys wanted to help out and whatnot, but you know they have more than enough money to take care of that, man. I just found that very ironic that it burned, and everybody and their mom was trying to come through to save the Catholic Church, even though the Catholic Church don't really be
Yeah.
they crooked in my eyes.
Yeah, they got enough money to buy 1 million cathedrals if they wanted. The Notre Dame Cathedral, man. If anybody donated money to that, man, they got you by the balls. And most people,
Got you. That's what I'm saying. And then the politicians as well. Like they be taking money from you, and they don't really need your money. They get money off of you anyway through your taxes. Then you guys want to go support Elizabeth Warren. You guys want to go support Bernie Sanders, which I'm cool with old ass Bernie, but them policies ain't gonna work, and it's not gonna pass. And again, it's just something to divide people, to piss off the right, because the right don't really care about. They don't want their money being given to people, but your money's already given out and socialized anyway, whether you like it or not, right? Because it's socialized to the corporations, right? So the corporations get all the tax benefits, and the banks fail. Guess who's bailing them out? That's us. That's bailing them out. That's not anybody else, but that's our dollars and our money that's bailing them out. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, the second thing I wanted to jump into was the government lies to you guys every day, and you guys still continue to watch CNN. You still continue to watch MSNBC, Fox News. They all lie. They all cap it. I don't pay no attention to it. Stop watching the news. It's bullshit. It's malarkey. So Operation Brookshire, right? This is the cigarette companies. This is just one of plenty of examples we will be going over in the series. Brookshire, Operation Brookshire, right? The tobacco companies knew. Right? They knew that smoking cigarettes caused cancer, but what they did was they made a pact, and they decided to basically do propaganda and to discredit and to cause a controversy about the health benefits of smoking cigarettes, guys. And everybody back in those days was like, oh, and they went with the controversy. No, it don't smoke. No, it don't cause cancer. It's just good for you. It is what it is. And they got the media behind them, right? Because they making money. They got the government behind them because they want to kill you, right? They want to make sure that you live less time, right? So this is in Wikipedia, guys. This is not me just talking. It's not me and Zay just talking. You guys can look up everything that we're saying, and we don't want you to take everything that we're saying. Go look it up for yourself. Proof of work. That's why Bitcoin is important. You got to work, do the research, learn for yourself. Yeah. We're only here to guide you. We can only lead the horse to water. We cannot make you guys drink. So this is just one of plenty of examples. The tobacco companies conspired to make sure they drew up controversy to make you guys believe that smoking cigarettes does not cause cancer, and they knew it caused cancer. That's the craziest things. They knew it, and they still pushed it, and they're still in business today, right? But now on the side of the cigarettes, now after they got called out on it, right? After mad people died, and the people that's like me and Zay, right, back in those days was like, no, we're not putting up with this. You guys are lying to us and whatnot. Now they have to put that it caused cancer on the side of the cigarette packs, and people still smoke it.
Mm-hmm. So they got them hooked now. They can't even get off.
They can't even get off. They inject more nicotine in it. They finesse the chemicals to make you want it even more.
Yeah, make you even more addicted. It's crazy.
They make it even more addictive. So that's just one of the many examples of how your government lies to you, because the government is in control of what comes out. The FDA, right?
Yeah,
FDA. They control what comes out, guys. There's food here in the United States that are not legal in other countries. Why is that, guys?
Hey man, FDA is nothing but free drugs for all. You're gonna get drugged up one way or the other. There's some carcinogens in the food that they allow. So
speak on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna have to do another show just on food. We probably do a series just on food, but
we're gonna have to.
But yeah, the FDA they allow it through because they got to get paid too. They got to get their money, so these corporations get away with it. And it's funny now because everybody pretty much knows that cigarettes cause cancer. But if you look at an old ad, man, they made cigarettes seem like the coolest thing ever. You can smoke cigarettes on a plane, my nigga,
They hot boxing the cigarettes.
Niggas hot boxing on the plane. Imagine getting 40 cigarette people smoking, blowing smoke in your face for a 5-hour trip.
They
I
hot
mean,
boxing the cigarettes, guys.
hot boxing
And people used to do that back in the day too. People used to smoke cigarettes with their kids in the back with the windows rolled up. You feel me? Smoking cigarettes. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So again, they make it so addictive that a lot of people can't smoke. I used to work in a call center. If you guys didn't know, back when I learned about Bitcoin, I used to work at Hilton, and I used to be taking phone calls. Call center, taking calls and selling vacation packages. And all my friends that were there, my coworkers, guess what they would do every 10, 15 minutes? They're outside smoking a cigarette. Every 10, 15 minutes, smoking a cigarette. You know how much money these people make off you guys smoking cigarettes?
Oh, yeah. Killing it, man.
They killing you and they making money, and then you probably got your kids. The kids seeing you do it, so now your kids smoking weed. I mean, smoke. There's nothing wrong with smoking weed. If you smoke weed, I don't care. I'm not talking about weed. I'm talking about cigarettes. My apologies.
Mm-hmm. Well, and see, I do want to say I'm sort of a cigar aficionado. I like cigars. Actual tobacco, when rolled the correct way, isn't necessarily bad for you. It does help with testosterone and a few other things. But what
you're not inhaling cigars.
Exactly. You're just letting it go, and that's the difference. And one of the things, I'm from North Carolina, which is literally the tobacco state. There is no more propaganda than there is in North Carolina to get you to smoke. Trust me, you can see a sign every exit about smoking or about some sort of corporation. Plus the Camel, their headquarters, I believe, are in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Or Winston, sorry, Winston is there, which I think owns Camel and a few other brands. So trust me, the propaganda was tough when I was growing up in North Carolina. But one of the main things is when you see it all the time. I mean, the Newport signs, every hood we lived in, the Newport signs was huge. They used to have a bunch
I'm guilty.
Beautiful black. I know. I smoked for a time just because I just thought that's what black people did.
That's the propaganda and what we were fed as kids. I was 16, 17, 18 smoking cigarettes, but you know how I stopped?
Yeah, let me get a point.
Let me get a point. I'm so glad I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. And when I smell them, I get disgusted by them, because it's poisonous. What's even crazier? It's more poisonous for the person not smoking it than you smoking it.
Yeah.
So if you're getting secondhand smoke, it's more poisonous for you to inhale secondhand smoke than the person that's actually smoking the cigarettes.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and let's talk about how satanic it is, because my boy Andrew Tate, he actually made a great observation. He was saying that in these occults, they have to tell you when they're doing something, what they're doing. All right, so karma doesn't come back and get them. So he basically said if they sell apples and you bite into it and it's poisonous, then that's bad karma. But if you say poisonous apples and you bite into it and die, blood is off their hands. It's the same thing with cigarettes. Now that they put it will cause cancer, they don't feel anything. They're like, oh yeah, go ahead, because we told you it causes cancer, so you can't even sue us if something goes wrong. You know how crazy that is? It's like, we know you're going to die in 50 years from our product, or die early from our product. But please keep smoking and stay as attached as possible. They even give you rewards. I remember they give you like rewards to get more. It's wild, man. That's how satanic that is. And they literally selling you your own death.
Yeah. I forgot who I was listening to the other day, and it was probably a day or two ago, right? It's like all the shit that kills you is free, right? Or all the shit that's poisonous for you is free, right? Of course, cigarettes are not free, but I mean, like, for an example, porn is free, and it's a demonic entity that gets you, and it can lowers your testosterone, it's your spirit life, your semen, all that stuff. That's free. Social media is free. You know what they push on social media? Any and everything that ain't good for you. So that's free. You feel me? So unless you cleanse your timeline and you putting things on it that's going to be benefiting you, and people are so like attached to, they're so trauma, they love the trauma bond, right? So a lot of black people like to cry on Twitter. That's everybody, but black people especially. We like to cry on Twitter and on Facebook and on Instagram, and be Twitter fingers under the post, complaining about shit, right? Versus taking action and doing something, right? So we like to trauma bond over shit that we can actually make a change about. That's just one example, right? But I want to jump into, lost train of thought there, but I want to jump into two things here with you Bitcoins Day. I saw that Apple is now offering 4% for a savings account in a whole year. Doesn't even keep up with inflation. I want to get your thoughts on that, and then I'll get my thoughts on that.
Oh yeah, well, it's 10 times what the average rate is for your bank. So I think a lot of people, if they can put their money in Apple Pay, it's going to be sitting in Apple. Plus, they have a lot of cash reserves. And it's funny because whenever you have been beaten down so far, just a little bit. When you are extremely hungry, a cracker tastes like a steak whenever you get it. So when inflation has been kicking your ass so long, the 4.15% seems like heaven. You're like, oh my God, 4%, but it doesn't even keep up with inflation. Like at this point, it doesn't keep up with anything. And honestly, like I said, you've been beat down so far where it's like 0.01% savings accounts. 4.15 seems like heaven, especially because that's probably just the entry rate, and they'll introduce it to you, and then in a year it'll probably change. Because read the fine print, I guarantee you it says this is subject to change
for only 18 months or 12 months exactly.
And then they're gonna hit you with the good old 0.2. And you can be like, dang, I ain't make as much as I did, but that's all part of the game. All of this stuff, usually when they roll it out, is to attract a lot of customers, a lot of users, and you're not going to change at that point. You get comfortable using it, and you're going to get to a point where everything is straight off the phone. Like, oh, well, I got Apple Pay. We don't need a card anymore, and I'll put my money straight into Apple Pay. I don't even need a bank at this point. So banks are dead. Banks have been dead, in my opinion. They just been on life support at this point. But this is going to be the final nail in the coffin for their use case, because you don't really need them at all.
Absolutely, man. I agree. I posted this on my Twitter, and I posted it on Facebook, and I saw somebody on because I'm in financial literacy, right? So I'm in these groups where people talk about credit and leverage credit. If you guys, first of all, if you guys need to fix your credit. I don't care if you're a grown-ass adult and you got bad credit, you need to fix your credit. Because guess what? We in the legacy system, and it's not changing anytime soon. And the U.S. dollar may crash, but guess what? They still base everything based on credit. So you might as well leverage the system, right? Use the system to your advantage. Don't be an idiot, right? Fix your credit. Don't be lazy. Fix your credit. The reason why you want to fix your credit is because you can get business credit, guys, and then you can buy real estate if that's what you want to do. I don't like real estate, but some boomers love their real estate. They love their stocks, right? They love to buy these things that they perceive as an investment opportunity, and you can make money with those things. Don't get me wrong, but the best asset in the world is Bitcoin. Don't get it twisted. Don't ever forget it, right? But you're able to start businesses with that money, and cash flow is very important nowadays, right? Especially if you're working at a job and you're complaining about your job. I'm even going to get a little part-time somewhere to make some extra money, even though I have some businesses, because I need to make more money because I understand what's happening, right? So fix your credit. So I seen somebody post on one of these groups that, they were super hype, right? Just like you said about the 4%. They were super hype about the 4%, bro. So the 4%, I was like, bro, it's 4% for an entire year, first and foremost, if that's what the fine print says. Yes. Second of all, Bitcoin is up 80% in 3 months of the year. So you guys don't even math. The math ain't mathing. Why would you put your money into something that's going to give you 4% in 1 year, if that's what the fine print says, and that's a whole year, and Bitcoin is up 80% this year alone?
Yeah. They don't have a long enough time frame. Like they don't have any delayed gratification, because if you're talking about a savings account, Bitcoin has far outperformed anything that's ever been created ever, and will continue to do it probably as a savings account. And long term, like you said, 4%. What the fuck is that? Ugh, that's not even. I mean, it's not keeping up with anything. I mean, you could put that anywhere else, but with Bitcoin, if you're talking about savings, literally every 3 or 4 years, whenever the new halving comes, Bitcoin has gained, I think, on average, 18x, something like that, after the halving happens. So, I mean, if you're excited about 4%, just wait until you hear about 1,800%. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where marketing is good, and plus, people didn't even really look into who's backing, because Apple doesn't technically have a bank.
Goldman Sachs. Exactly.
Yeah. Like, what are we even talking about? Just like, you look at Cash App, and they think Cash App is a bank. It's like, no, it's backed up by Sutton Bank. Like, people don't actually know that there is still a bank behind it. So it's still going to have banking policies. It's still going to have legacy banking things. So don't get caught up in that too deep. Of course, take advantage if you want to, but always make sure you realize what the real play is. It's to get most people's money all into the same place. Because if they can get everybody to start using it, then Goldman Sachs basically has everybody's accounts at that point.
That's one of the big banks that we talked about last episode.
Don't let them turn it into, or they basically say, oh, well, it is now on the CBDC network. You're now using the CBDC with your money. And it's going to be a seamless transition. Nothing's going to change to you, but it's going to change on the settlement layer that they're using. And then they can control it from that point. So then when you pull your phone out, you try to buy something, you're going to probably get an alert. Oh, you bought enough meat for this week. you have to wait until next Monday until you can buy more meat. Your carbon credits are running out, and you know what I mean. Like, or you go try and buy gas. It's like, oh, you bought enough gas this week. You can't use your car for 24 hours for gas or something. You know what I mean? Like, all of that is possible when it's all connected, and that's why I think this Apple thing is a huge, huge honeypot. That's what I think.
Absolutely. And people forget that when you put your money in the bank, guys, guess what? It's not your money anymore. A lot of people forget that as well. That's banking 101.
It's gone. Yeah,
It's gone.
yeah. You might as well go throw it at a strip club because you can't get it back from them either. It's gone.
You know, I used to withdraw, 10. I see when I was back in 2020 when my business was booming, I used to just withdraw the cash out of the bank, right, all the time. Now I don't even keep. I buy other things and stuff now, so I don't withdraw cash anymore. But back when I was withdrawing the cash, bro, I would withdraw like what 10, 15,000 every other day, every couple of days, and I'm like, man, let me just withdraw $5,000, just so that I don't get on the radar, But they would be like, what are you withdrawing all this money for? I'm like,
exactly.
Damn, this is my money. It's my money. My money. Why do you worry about what I'm doing? My money.
I'd have had some wars with some of these bankers sitting in their office trying to explain why. Oh, so could you please tell us why you take it out? Because I just want to put it on my bed and lay on it.
That's right.
Who cares what I want to wipe my ass with it? Who cares what I'm gonna do with my money? I'm not about to be interviewed by somebody broker than me about why I want to use my money. Shut up. Just let me
know more. I know more about finances than the bankers that are handling your money.
Yeah, exactly.
We know more about money than the banksters, bro. I go into them all the time, and these banks don't even know most of these bank tellers, and most of these people don't even know anything about credit and how to leverage their credit, and they're working at the bank, right? Yeah. And meanwhile, me and my clients and me and my students are going to the bank, getting 20,000, 15,000. I got my brother over 100,000 on a business credit card. He started Airbnb. He's cash flowing. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So little things like that. These people at the bank don't even do that. They're working a 9-to-5 job, and they're trying to tell you how to manage your money. Like, no, same thing with college. These people, you go to college for business, they don't even own a damn business, but you want to learn business for somebody that don't own a damn business. It don't make no sense to me, bro. It really
exactly. He don't know shit about business. He knows how to teach about business. Like, come on, man. Shouldn't even be in a position, but that's the world we live in now. I mean, unfortunately, clown world, man. And most of the stuff we talk about, these conspiracy facts, the reason why it's important is because most people need to realize pretty much everything you've been taught is a lie. If you are one of those people like me and Chris, we do a lot of digging, a lot of reading, we don't trust, we verify, then you're all good. But if you're one of those people that just see the news or see a headline and you just take it and you just like, all right, well, that must be what happened. You are far, far behind. Trust me. There's a lot of people that's gonna lie to you, been lying to you, and they're gonna keep doing it as long as they can get away with it. As long as there's a bunch of dumb niggas walking around parroting what they heard. Because I'm gonna tell you the truth. I haven't in the history of my life, I've never heard so many people bring up climate change when I brought up Bitcoin. You know where that came from? Elizabeth Warren and her people, Greenpeace, and those cronies over there. All these climate change and global warming. Global warming is the fakest shit I've ever seen in my life. Climate change is retarded. The climate is always changing. That the earth is always changing. And how narcissistic do you have to be to think that we as humans
can actually change
the earth enough to destroy it? You think we can destroy the earth? Get the fuck out of here. And the Georgia Guidestones, which I showed earlier when we were going through the thread, trying to get the population down to 500 million, they're only going to do it if you allow it. You're allowing them to tell you that we need less carbon on our world. What are we made up of? Carbon. You are the carbon they're trying to get rid of. And y'all gonna walk yourselves right into the gallows trying to believe that you're trying to save the earth because you planted a few trees and you picked up some trash around the community. Hell, I did a community pickup last week. I care about the community or about the environment. I don't care enough to get fooled. That's what they do. They tug at your heartstrings. They make you feel like you're trying to save some shit. And then what they do is they introduce something that actually is tyranny. And they're getting money out the ass for all of this climate change, global warming, Greta Thunberg, all her. How dare you?
You know who started it first? Al Gore, back when George Bush was talking. He said that by the time we're here now, everybody's gonna be underwater. And look, it's like y'all don't see that they fugazing you by now.
Yeah.
I remember Al Gore running on that campaign and he lost, but it just shows you the lies that they tell you for years, and then they just have a new face on it, like you said, Greta Thunberg, which I learned from GG33. Shout out to Gary. She's related to the Rothschilds.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I'm saying. They all in the same family. Even the whole presidential bloodline is royal. They all in the same bloodline. As a matter of fact, I'm just start at 2000. These are a few of the different ways that the climate was supposed to be affected. In 2000, they said children won't know what snow is. 2002, famine in 10 years if we don't give up eating fish, meat, and dairy. 2004, Britain will be Siberia by 2024. 2008, Arctic will be ice-free by 2018. In 2008, climate genius Al Gore predicts ice-free Arctic by 2013. That was 10 years ago.
I remember that.
2009, climate genius Prince Charles says we have 96 months to save the world. 2009, UK Prime Minister says 50 days to save the planet from catastrophe. Let's see. 2009, climate genius Al Gore moves 2013 prediction to 2014. Like, people, you gotta understand, they are wrong about all this shit.
They're wrong about everything.
People are really scared. Like, the earth was an ice age, the waters are melting. Oh, you're gonna be underwater. I'm in Florida right now. Miami was supposed to be underwater in the 80s. It's supposed to be done with, man. And I mean, you got oil gone in 10 years. That was in 1966. Oil depleted in 20 years. That was in 72. I mean, we can go all day. It was supposed to be, remember acid rain as a kid? I remember being scared of acid rain when I was like 8, 9 years old, because it was like, well, because of all these methane in the sky or the clouds, you could experience acid rain. Like, we really thought we was gonna walk outside and our skin was gonna just fall off.
Yo, that's why I tell people, man, y'all can't be, and that's how they got a lot of people with the vaccine as well, right? They said they scare you. It's a fear-based tactic, and everything that you just said is based on fear. Oh, we're gonna be underwater by 20. Oh, or it's gonna be if we don't do this, and this is gonna. It's all based on fear, and that's how they get everybody. It's fear-based propaganda, fear-based media, which is why I tell you to turn off social media, right? I actually follow a couple people online. I'm glad to see a lot of, and these are white people that I'm following. You know, I follow everybody online, but I saw someone because I saw that there's been a lot of looting, right, in Chicago recently. And anytime I see, and you know, there's always these certain right-wing people or just people in general that, you know, tweet out race baiting videos, right, of black people attacking a white person, you know, and all that, just to, you know, stir up and get you in your feelings. And, you know, like I said, they're gonna get you. They're gonna work on your heartstrings and your emotions, and everybody's tweeting away, and you know, it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy where they just keep tweeting and tweeting and tweeting, and it grows and grows. But you know, in those tweets and in those replies, you know, you see a lot of racism. You see how people really think about, you know, a group of people, which is the it's not how it's supposed to be. You know, obviously there's a certain demographic of people that they do those crimes, but that don't mean you group all black people that way, guys. Stop being so ignorant, right? So that's not fair for you guys to do. But you know, I see a lot of people speaking out against that. I saw somebody that I follow was like, hey, you shouldn't be judging all people based on that one video, you feel me? And I was like, thank God, there's some people with common sense out here, but you know, there's a lot of people that just feed off that and will tweet the most racist stuff based on that one video. And then I saw I forgot the dude that's Black Guns Matter.
Maj Toure, shout out to him.
Yeah. So on that exact thread, he posted a picture of black people being hung from trees by white people, and he's like, okay, well, yeah, y'all, this is not right. Not saying that this is right, but you don't forget that this happened to us as well. So you don't. So it's like there's always that polarity, you know. And I just wanted to make sure I touched on that because you know a lot of people get caught up in that. Yeah, they want you guys.
They want you to go at it. And you know what I think is happening right now? You know, the same propaganda machine that pushed the police killings to the forefront, to the point where people thought that this was happening every single day, every hour. You know what I mean? Like everybody's, man, it's always happening. It's always happening. You don't really see it that much anymore. You know what I mean? Like as much as with the Mike Brown era and all of that. That same propaganda machine, I think, is working on the right wing. They're basically telling white people, look at all these black people that's committing crimes.
Absolutely.
Look at all these people that are criminals. See,
absolutely,
they hate you. Look at all these people that said. I mean, that's the thing. Is like if we just do numbers wise, and this is how ridiculous this is, right? Let's say you've been on social media for 10 years, right? Let's say every day for 10 years you see 100 examples of black people beating up somebody, or black people calling a white person something, or black people doing something, whatever. All right. Let's say every day 100 examples for a year. All right. That's 36,500 examples. For 10 years, that's 365,000 examples. If you take that number divided by the number of actual black people, we're talking about less than 5% of the
population in the United States,
of the U.S., the entire USA of black people. So you're basically arguing that because you've seen this every day, 100 times a day, and I'm actually being, you know, overboard with it. on purpose.
You doing too, yeah.
Because nobody sees 100 examples a day. But just I'm a numbers guy. Even if you did, you're still only talking about 5% of an entire population. So you can't even really quantify exactly what you're saying, but you're complaining as if, oh, this happens all the time. This is everyday occurrence. I'm like, half of y'all don't even see black people on a daily basis. Y'all live in the suburbs. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? This is
and
not.
You know what I don't like? Well, I don't like. See, I grew up in Orlando. There's a multicultural. I had many different races of friends growing up. I don't like white people that don't have no black friends. Like, you don't have no black, no Hispanic, no Asian friends. There's something wrong with you. You need to get you a black friend, an Asian friend, a Hispanic friend, a Mexican friend, right? Stop judging these people. They're human beings. We're all brothers and sisters in Christ. And, God loves us all. But, we can't be judging people, guys. There's evil black people. There's evil white people. There's evil Spanish. There's bad neighborhoods in every country, bad neighborhoods in every state. That don't mean you group everybody into one section. It's sad we have to say this in 2023, but like you said, racism ain't going nowhere.
Not going
nowhere. I'm gonna call it out, but you just got to do better, man.
Hey, man, racism ain't going nowhere, but hey, that's why you got to keep that gun on you. That's why I like Florida.
That's right.
Stand your ground.
All right, so we're at an hour, and I got another meeting coming up here in about 10 minutes. So what I'm going to do is we're going to wrap it up here. Great episode 1, official episode 1 of Tinfoil Toboggan. Make sure you guys scan that promo code down here for Bitcoin Zay's Black Bitcoin and Black America book, or go to Amazon.com. The link will be in the description as well. Make sure you subscribe to the Gentleman of Crypto. If you're on the Gentleman of Crypto, make sure you come over and subscribe to Bitcoin Chris's channel. I drop videos every day as well. And, I'm just happy to be able to, have this conversation with you, Bitcoin Zay. I'm so happy that we had this new show. I'm happy. Yeah. I'm excited. And I had a great show here today. Let everybody know where they can follow you as well.
Oh, yeah. Make sure you follow Twitter at Bitcoin Zay, Instagram, the Isaiah Jackson. And definitely tune in weekly, Tuesdays at 2 p.m. for the Tinfoil Toboggan. There's a hella alliteration in that. When I first thought about it, I was like, Tuesday, 2 p.m., Tinfoil Toboggan. It's like, goddamn. But yeah, make sure you tune in. Weekly, we'll be doing shows like this, talking about different conspiracy facts, geopolitical issues, and of course, a little Bitcoin sprinkled in like parsley.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Make sure you guys go get the book. CollarPop is one of the sponsors. Get 25% off with promo code 25. Click that link or scan that promo code right there, or go to collarpop.com. And again, go to swanbitcoin.com/Bitcoin Chris. Get your $10 free. It's not about the $10. It's about you stacking up every time that you can, every week, every 2 weeks, every month, every day, if you're able to. That way, in the future, your family, your future self will thank you. So everybody, thank you guys for tuning in. Much love. Bitcoin Chris checking out. Thank you, Zay, for tuning in. And we'll see you guys next week on Tuesday, 2 o'clock for Toboggan. Tinfoil Toboggan.
Cheers.
Cheers. Peace.